2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Shem El Shai. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Green Millstone. And shalom to you, sincere Akim. As I read, man, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Today is May 1st, and it's a high holy day on the left-hand side of the Satanists, man. Those that worship evil. Is a high holy day. They're one of their most, they say it's the greatest Sabbath that they hold. So I want to get into some information. Okay. So as I said before, May 1st is the greatest so-called, on the left-hand side, the greatest high holy day, Sabbath. But also, it's the 13th day and the 13th and final day of a satanic fire ritual to Baal and Nimrod, okay, which is done with major human sacrifice. This is the last day, and guess when the first day started? When the Ark of Triumph, what they're calling it in the media that everyone looks and beholds over in the UK, BBC, Sky News, and all those kind of networks. But when you really delve into what it really is, it's an ark that goes back to the Temple of Bel. Now, when you deal with Bel, Bel required human sacrifice. Okay, so as I said, this is the 13th and final day, okay, of a satanic fire ritual. Remember, I said fire ritual to Baal and Nimrod, which are one and the same. Okay, which requires major human sacrifice. So that's the time we're in. Right? As we speak right now, shit's going down, man. Okay, we're out in the UK, London, to be specific. And like we said, we went down to Trafalgar Square and had the Ark of Bel go up, man. And that's where they started. That was the first day of this sacrificial period that was going on, and that's the final day. Now, even on the third day, when the ark went down, okay, which was, I believe, the 21st, what actually happened was that was actually on the calendar of the satanic calendar as well, where they say it was a preparation towards the sacrifice of Bel. So all them days that was mentioned with that line up with the Ark of Bel, man, there was something behind it, okay? And even today, May Day, yeah, is known for having a march, okay, that takes place from the Marx Memorial Library to Trafalgar Square, okay? And this happens every year. So that's the crazy thing about it. So there's a tumultuous march from Marx Memorial Library to Trafalgar Square. Now, we need to understand as well is Marx Memorial Library is based in Islington, North London, okay, which is in an area known as Clerkenwell Green. Now, that area, Clerkenwell Green, is highly demonic, okay? It's known for being an area where all the radicals fled to. Like when the so-called Catholics were being persecuted, the people that are behind the gunpowder plot and those kind of factions, Rosicrucians and all that kind of stuff, that was their safe haven. Like it was a town known for where the radicals were like. And guess what? They have a Freemason lodge right in that area as well. So that area that where this march actually starts from and where it finishes is all based upon this demonic energy in the society anyway. So that shit, this shit couldn't be more plain. It's so straightforward what these people are doing. They're conjuring up demons, man. They got things in place. It's the year to push, okay? We're pushing harder. We're pushing out the vibration of Yahweh Shem El Shai. So Satan's got to push out his demonic vibration with a multitude of idols and blasphemies and devils. So the harder we push, the harder Satan's going to push. Because that's the time that we're in. All right? So I want to get some information on this high holy day that they celebrate, known as Beltane. So I'm going to go through some information. I want to steamroll through it as quickly as possible, okay? And lock this up. So this is Beltane. It says is the Anglicized name of the Gaelic May Day festival. Most commonly is held on the 1st of May, or about halfway between the spring equinox and summer solstice. Okay, that shows you they're dealing with the stars, the signs in heaven. Okay, on the left hand side. Okay, historically observed throughout Ireland, Scotland, and Isle of Man. Okay, that's that information. So this is a Celtic holiday, Beltane. Okay, so it marked the beginning of summer and was when cattle were driven out to the summer pastures. Rituals were performed to protect the cattle, sacrifices, human sacrifices, yeah, beginning to protect the cattle, crops, and people, and to encourage growth, fertility. Because when you also deal with this, you have festivals in England that the neo-pagans and the pagans keep, neo-pagans, because they're not the original pagans keep, which basically what they do is they have the I forgot the name. It's known as the Queen of, I can't remember the name, but it's the May Day Queen, I believe it is, where they basically have a little girl sit upon a queen's throne. And remember I said that, but also it symbolizes fertility. That's why you have the Wicker Man. One of the Wicker Man final cut, when you look at that poster, it had rabbits on it. Okay, and I'm gonna get into the Wicker Man as well further in the video. But basically, because this day is about fertility, because it symbolizes growth. That's why they have something known as a maypole, not the maypole. I believe it's the maypole. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it in the comment box. But basically, it's a phallic symbol where you have women they basically take their they have like ribbons, and they dance around in circles around that phallic symbol, and it basically interwove around the maypole, man. So, and that's really the symbolism behind that is about fertility, man. Okay. So reading on, it says, and to encourage growth, special bonfires were kindled, and their flames, smoke, and ashes were deemed to have protective powers. Okay, because that would really come from the blood sacrifice. The people and their cattle would walk around the bonfire or between two bonfires, and sometimes leap over the flames or embers. And that reminds me of, it's written in the word about us not being allowed to let our children pass through the flames of Bel, of all these idols, basically. And that's something literally they're doing, sacrifice. You literally do sacrificing your child, but participating in these ceremonies are a blasphemy as well. Okay. So it says, all household fires will be doused and then relit from the Beltane bonfire. These gatherings would be accompanied by a feast, and some food and drink would be offered to what they call the Sith, okay, which is basically like fairies, demons, okay. Doors, windows, briars, and cattle themselves would be decorated with yellow mayflowers, perhaps because they invoked fire. Okay, the main theme behind Beltane is fire. Okay, now that's it on that point. Now, this is to show you that the name Beltane goes back to Bel. Okay, according to the 17th century historian Geoffrey Keating, there was a great gathering at the hill of Unich, each Beltane in medieval Ireland, where a sacrifice was made to a god named Beel, spelled B-E-I-L. Okay, so it's saying that basically they'll make a sacrifice to something known as Beel, and this links up with the 13-day sacrifice onto Baal, also known as Bel. and the fact it's called Beltane. Okay. Now they also mention that bear with me. Okay. Now this is historic Beltane customs. Beltane was one of four Gaelic seasonal festivals: Samhain, or Halloween as it's known, in Bowick, Beltane, and Ludastad. Beltane marked the beginning of the pastoral summer season when livestock were driven out of the summer pastures. Rituals were held at the time to protect them from harm, both natural and supernatural, and this mainly involved the symbolic use of fire. Okay, well they say symbolic, but it really was they used fire, man. Okay. Now my last point on this, fuck y'all, to reiterate, this is to nip it in the bud. Okay, remember it said the symbol fire. Of course, other gods called Lord could be and sometimes were identified totally or in part with Bel Marduk. Okay, the god Malak Bel of Palmyra is an example. Though the later period from which most of our information come, he seems to have become very much a sun god. But basically, that Bel is the same Bel, man, and it actually links up to what Bel of Palmyra. And what did we have over here in Trafalgar Square? We had the Ark of what they call the Ark of Triumph of Palmyra. And basically, even and the mad thing is, I'm gonna upload this clip separately. You had Boris Johnson. Okay, when I was there, Boris Johnson said that there's people coming out and saying that this ark is basically the ark of. You have people saying that this ark is an ark of Bel, and he's saying no, that's nonsense. It's not the ark of Bel. It's the ark of Palmyra. Nah, it's the ark of Bel, nigga. That's what it really is. You cracker devil. And Boris, man, Lord, I don't know if you're gonna make it, but them shackles are going on you first. Well, I can't. That's not my place to say that, man. But you're gonna get got anyway, man, because you're a cave beast. You look like you stepped out the cave yesterday, man. But anyway, back to the point. Okay, so like I said, Palmyra, Bel, and what's the main theme? Human sacrifice. Now, when you check out films that came out on the 1st of May, one of the main films that always comes out on May 1st consistently was Wicker Man, which came out first in 1973. Now, when you deal with that movie, it was based on Wicca. Okay, and Wicca is the main form of paganism you find in England, which the people in England use. Okay, so now in that movie, what happened? A little girl, like I mentioned before, the May Day Queen, a female girl that sat upon the throne as a queen. And when you look up what's kind of sacrificed on a satanic calendar that is most prized, they say female child. They say female or child, but I'm guessing if you put two and two together, a child female would be a high level sacrifice. Now, in the movie Wicker Man, what was he investigating? He was investigating a disappearance on an island heavily involved with paganism, the disappearance of a little female girl. Okay, and by the end of the movie, he was put into the Wicker Man, and he was offered up as a sacrifice for onto their power, onto Bel, basically. Okay, so these things that are happening, they're all interlinked and interwoven, man. And Esau's really pushing it heavy, man. Now you having riots worldwide, and the way I'm taking that, if you're having these, they have them all every year. But if they're having these riots and these things going on, they're doing something behind closed doors to take away the eyes of the people. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna close up on this scripture, man. This is Isaiah 47:10. For thou hast trusted in thine wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Okay, like you got the riots going on right now, man. You got people protesting about Labour Day and all this kind of foolishness, Workers' Day over here in England. You're working in darkness right now. You got them over in Trafalgar Square. You got Corbyn out there giving speeches and rousing up the people and all that kind of shit. But you're really doing wicked wicked things in darkness. Okay? Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it have perverted thee. Yeah, it lied to you, man. It says, cause thee, in the precept it says, cause thee to turn away. Alright? Which you know, Esau, you never, your forefather wept with tears trying to get back in, man. And that's why you guys are doing all these things. You elites, you Rothschilds are doing all these things to the chosen. Alright? So it reads on, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else besides me. That's right, you exalted yourself to be the highest and this over everything. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Right, that's right, man. The Lord's gonna get the so-called white man's gonna be taken out in World War III with thermonuclear destruction. That's what's gonna happen, man. But this society, before that happens, where America be destroyed in an hour, this society is gonna unwind into a time that's never been seen on the earth before. Stand now in thine enchantments, and this is what Esau's doing. That's why we're presently in a day known as Beltane, okay? And with the multitude of thy sorceries, human sacrifice, the Wicca, all these different forms of madnesses that Esau is using to invoke demonic power, okay? And with the multitude of thy sorceries wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, from the beginning, if so thou shalt be able to profit, if so thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon you. That's why Esau's doing these things, mowing out in the open like the Ark of Bel, and trying to make it seem as something else. Why? Because they're being heavily wearied. We're in the year to push. The Lord is pushing them. Okay? He's putting the pressure on them. Okay? Behold, that they shall be as stubble, and fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be able to. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his poor, none shall save thee. The Most High Yahweh Hashem El Shai, the Most High and His Son Yahweh Hashem El Shai is coming. Is gonna rain heavy judgment, man. We was at the camp just yesterday, man, and we saw fleets of chariots, man. And I'm like, this is you, Lord will, we're gonna upload the video. I don't know what the quality is like, man, but it's crazy. I mean, fleets, heavy fleets of chariots of Israel, man, during this right before May Day. Lord's gonna get you fucking guys, man. Don't worry, you Rothschilds, you elites. There's something in store for you. Don't worry, man. You're doing all this madness, working your evil. The Lord's gonna get you, man. He's got your number. There's no two ways about it, man. Whatever you do to us, it's peak for you after that, man. Because when we get you in slavery, it's a wrap. And with that, man, all praise to Yahweh Hashem El Shai. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to you sincere. Shalom.